Good morning and welcome to another collective worship session. My name's Kim, I'm your youth worker, and today we're going to be thinking about the topic of compassion. We're going to start off with a game of what would you do? Here's number one. You're sat in Mackey's, you order your favourite meal, whatever that might be. For me, that's a fillet of fish meal. Don't judge me, I get a lot of stick for that. You're sat in Mackey's, you order your favourite meal, you go to eat your burger and you find a hair in your burger. What would you do? If you would take it back, I want you to stand up. If you just throw it away and say nothing, I want you to put your hand up. Or if you just take the hair out and eat it anyway, I want you to stay sat down. Okay, number two. You're now leaving Mackey's and you notice that your friend has got some barbecue sauce on their face. What would you do? Stand up if you'd tell them straight, hey, you've got barbecue sauce on your face. I want you to put your hand up if you would kind of want to tell them, but maybe a bit more subtly, if you'd maybe just walk past a mirror or go to take a selfie so they'd notice, something like that. Or stay sat down if you would just not tell them. What would you do? Question three. It's a school day and it's lunchtime. You're out on the field and you notice someone you don't know very well getting really badly picked on by another group of students. What would you do? Stand up if you would go over and intervene and stick up for them. Put your hand up if you would maybe not feel like you could go over and intervene, but you'd go and find a teacher and let them know what was going on. Or stay sat down if you wouldn't feel like you could really do anything to help. And number four, you're sat in class and you've all just got your results back of an assessment that you've done. The person you sit next to didn't get any of the questions right and is really, really upset with their mark. What would you do? Stand up if you would say nothing. It's really hard to know what to say in those situations to make someone feel better, and sometimes it feels easier just to say nothing. Put your hand up if you try your best to make them feel better by reassuring them that it'll be okay and that they've got the chance to try again next time. Or stay sat down if you would want to think of really practical ways to help. Maybe you could meet up to revise together or go to one of the after school revision sessions together. Stay sat down if you would want to think of a really practical way to help. Well, today we're talking all about compassion. I found a definition of compassion on the internet that I really liked. It said compassion literally means to suffer together. It's that feeling you get when you're confronted with someone else going through a really hard time and you feel motivated to help them through that hard time and to make a difference, to make them feel better. There might be plenty of people and situations that you feel sympathy for. You feel sorry for them, you feel sad for the situation that someone is in. But compassion is about more than just sympathy. Compassion is taking that sympathy and turning it into action. It's about identifying with someone else's suffering and wanting to act to make a difference to that situation. You might have heard about the work of Marcus Rashford. He felt so strongly about the suffering of families living in food poverty, and he took that sympathy and he moved it into action. He identified with the suffering of those families, and as a result of his action and his campaigning, free meals were provided to families in need over school holidays, and he continues to work for organisations that strive to end child food poverty. So pause this video and discuss with your teacher and your class what is an issue or a situation in school or out of school that you really identify with, you feel so strongly about, and you want to take that sympathy and put it into action. Who or what do you have compassion for? When I hear about compassion, the person I most associate compassion with is Jesus. You might have heard a lot of stories about things that Jesus did and miracles he performed. But when you read about them in the Bible, so many of them start with Jesus having compassion. You may have heard the story of Jesus feeding thousands and thousands of people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. Now, Jesus didn't just perform that miracle to show off, to show that he could do a miracle. That story starts with Jesus saying to his disciples, "I have compassion on these people because they're hungry." There's another story where Jesus heals 2 men who were blind. And the story starts with Jesus saying, "I have compassion on them." And so he healed them. There's so many times where Jesus is teaching crowds and crowds of people, and it says he's teaching them because he has compassion on them. He didn't just feel sorry for them, feel sympathy, but he took that feeling and turned it into action, turned it into healing and direction, acceptance and love. Not only then, but Jesus shows compassion to us today. It might be hard to understand that because we can't see him in the way that they could see him back in biblical times. But the Bible describes God as the Father of all compassion and the God of all comfort. It says that God is compassionate towards us. He identifies with our struggles and our difficult times, and he wants to bring comfort and compassion to us today. So take the next 10 seconds to think about an area in which you feel like you need compassion. And then we're going to spend a little bit of a time of quiet in prayer. God, as I think about my struggles now, thank you that you understand me and what I'm going through. Help me to experience your comfort and compassion. Inspire me to be compassionate to other people. As I go about my school day today, help me to keep my eyes open for opportunities to be compassionate to others. Amen.